Can you sing Pretty Little Thing for me?
Pretty Little Thing?
Pretty Little Thing.
1、2、3、4ドラムを叩け 1、2、3、4ドラムを叩け
My style, my collection. Becky G and Pretty Little Thing.
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 Pretty Little Thing. Pretty Little Thing are an infamous online fashion brand catered to 18 to 24-year-olds who are known for doing quite bad things actually. They're either known to fans to be like really amazing and people like love them over like the UK, the US, or they're quite poor, not very good, and people don't really like them. PLT was founded in 2012 by brothers Umar and Adam Kamani. The brothers have generated a revenue of 516.3 million over the past 10 years. And now it's been made one of the most popular online brands in the UK. For this documentary, I will break it down into 4 sections so I can give you the best information that I found possible. The 4 sections I will be covering are transparency, the reality of transparency, climate change, and the environment, as well as theories and controversies. All the information provided in today's video is done by me beforehand, and I have made it as authentic as possible, and in the description will be all the links where I founded this information from. I do not mean for this video to be disrespectful in any way, but it's more of giving the people the right information about this brand, because to be honest, Pretty Little Thing, they kind of have it coming. Firstly, transparency. Pretty Little Thing claims in a statement, "Looking after the planet is more important than ever, and like many others, we want to help create a more sustainable future. We endeavour to make a positive change with the platform and resources we have, and will continue to work towards ways we can do better and better." This statement can be found on the Sustainability tab of the PLT's website, where Pretty Little Thing and many companies have done similar to show the participation in the big awareness of the climate change crisis trend, which they've all suddenly hopped onto in the past couple of years, which really took off just before COVID around 2019. On top of this, Pretty Little Thing also have a business promise section on their website, where by 2030 they will hope to achieve carbon reductions across our value chain aligned with science-based targets equivalent to a 52% reduction in emissions relative to our growth. Although this is what they claim via their website, they are very far from what they say to achieve, and their choices in material, advertising and promotions definitely say otherwise. PLT influencers like Molly May Hague have actually recently commented on the sustainability of the brand. In a statement from Hello Magazine, this being Molly May claiming that PLT has promised all their materials will be sustainably sourced by 2025. We're so lucky to have incredible experts in each area of the brand, and we have a huge sustainability team that are working day in or day out. It is hugely important for us to give sustainability the same amount of time and energy we give to our diversity and inclusivity of the movement going forward. She is PLT's most known influencer, as she is an ex-Love Island star who participated on the show in 2019. Molly May has also stated, "We don't work on these pieces for them to be throwaway fashion. We want people to love these garments and wear them constantly." She also talks about sustainability being a huge movement right now. Again, very relieving to hear, but looking at the rate people buy the clothes from their site and the amounts, Molly May's one collection will not solve this issue. The world's hugely involved in this consumerism-like society, and PLT is definitely a big part of it. Like many brands, PLT constantly has a sale on their website. For example, BooHoo held 22p next day delivery on the 22nd of February 2022 day. You know, the dates where it will all 222, never be the same again. Yeah, that. People were largely talking about the date beforehand and on the day. So like a few other companies, I know Domino's chose to do it, but BooHoo took the chance to say and put a deal out to encourage more traffic to the website. In PLT's case, they have always had offers advertised to their primary audience of students, with constant talk of student discounts, as well as a big banner on their main website presenting an offer of the current day, and they'll have that every single day. In terms of reviews on PLT on Trustpilot, they have an overall excellent 4 out of 5 stars. However, when you actually read through the reviews, this doesn't seem to be the case recently. A lot of them seem very varied, with some 5 stars, like excellent service, excellent, like being taken care of, came quickly. Others, people haven't been getting refunds, people have it's been taking ages to come. Looking back at their website, PLT states a few things about sourcing. They give a statement about having strong relationships with suppliers as a business in order to provide customers with the latest on-trend products at an affordable price. However, construction started at their Leicester factory in 2021 and since has been opened in January 2022. It is for the owners of branch BooHoo, who again owns PLT, and making a big step to recovering their bad reputation in human rights abuses. BooHoo staff say that they will have guaranteed 40-hour contracts, 33 days of paid holiday, private medical care and free shares in the group of the main benefits. So far, we've seen positive changes in terms of human rights, but it does not necessarily mean that BooHoo/PLT have stopped investing money in foreign factories lacking of these policies. They don't have this information disclosed on their websites or publicly, as they've only stated their aspirational change, business promises, blah blah blah. They have not decided to address the negative sides, which is concerning and suggests that there's something else going on. In 2025, PLT will have mapped our supply chain to the raw material source from our key fibres, cotton fields, in order to have full visibility of its journey. In my opinion, this could be heavily mixed in translation, but due to mention of raw materials, this could be PLT stating they're aiming to change the actual source of their raw materials. This would actually make big changes. So good on PLT for that if they actually managed to do that. On their website, PLT also have been promoting the Regain app, which aims to prevent the unnecessary pile-up of discarded clothing in landfills around the UK. Specifically for PLT, the app allows your unwanted clothes to be turned into discounts to get cash off their website. And although this is good, it's not actually stopping you from buying from Pretty Little Thing. It's not making sure their resources are better, it's just a form of a very small step in making sure not as many clothes are being put to waste. Right, secondly, the reality. According to the app Good On You, Pretty Little Thing has a rating of We Avoid, meaning they're not taking adequate steps to ensure payment of living wage to their workers. In the rating system the app provides, the planet and animals have a 2 out of 5 rating, and people with a 1 out of 5 rating, which is extremely bad, just out of pocket. The main reasoning for such a low rating is due to the ethicality and sustainability of the company. Since their start-up in 2012, PLT have seen multiple online complaints about the quality in certain articles of their clothing. People don't class PLT as a place to buy durable clothing from, but more so a place where they can go for the best fashion deals and just little things you can wear on a night out and then you can either sell on second hand or throw away, which is the main problem of our consumer society. Where their customer service and shipping times and policies are fairly good, a lot of problems are with the production process and the parts you don't see. One of PLT's and BooHoo's main downfalls of the material they use is how they process it and form it together. Until recently, all of their products have consisted of mixed fibres, which are almost impossible to recycle and reuse, and materials which degrade within months of use. I did a survey using randomised products on Pretty Little Thing. I chose about 6. I did this to see what was the most used materials throughout these random products. I used categories of shoes, clothing and accessories for this and came out with these results. You can see that out of these 6 products, polyester was the most used by far in almost all the products. Secondly was elastane, I'm not really sure how to say it. Elastane is stretchy, it's easy to maintain, light and pleasant to the skin sort of material. It is very easy for fast fashion giants to use this material like polyester. However, it isn't much better than say polyester because it uses dozens of chemicals, making it artificial, and this can actually cause allergic skin reactions. Elastane can be sustainable, but the cheapest production is when it's made from fossil fuels, which make its sourcing unethical. Thin stretchy film means the material is weak, easy to fall apart within months. The weak material makes it unsustainable, and elastane, like polyester, can never be a sustainable fabric, but its carbon footprint can be lessened through the recycling of it. After this research, I've concluded that PLT use mostly polyester, microplastics, unethical dyes due to the fact there are multiple notes in the fabric care and descriptions about the dye being transferable. Dyes for materials like polyester and elastane have to be very powerful to properly work, meaning after cheap productions, dye transfers are to be expected. On top of this, because of the water usage these dyes use when being disposed, the toxic chemicals are dumped into our oceans, affecting wildlife and habitats. It's shocking how big of a scale this is on. Furthermore, PLT failed to give numerical figures into materials used. On some, they say nothing or use very vague language like mixed fibres or only give half the material contents. Looking back on Good On You, the planet, as I've said, is a 2 out of 5 rating, meaning they're doing very little for the environment. Good On You say the reason for this low rating is because of the lack of eco-friendly materials, which is so true when you actually look into it. On top of this, there is no evidence that the company have taken any meaningful steps to reduce or eliminate these hazardous chemicals which are affecting their score so bad. It measures and reports greenhouse gas emissions from its direct operation but not its supply chain. Again, the problem's in the supply chain, not the main operation. There is no evidence that it implements water reduction initiatives either. For labour statistics, its rating is very poor. This is the lowest possible rating the company could have gained. Last year, it received a 0 to 10% score on the Fashion Transparency Index, which is so shocking. This index, the Fashion Transparency Index, reviews the 250 of the tops of the world's largest fashion brands annually and ranks them according to their level of public disclosure on human rights, environmental policies, practices and impacts in their own operations and supply chains. PLT publishes 0 to very little information about their supplier policies. It does not disclose any information about forced labour, gender equality or freedom of association. Its animal rating is also a 2 out of 5, like the planet. This is because there is no evidence that it has any policy to minimise the suffering of animals. It uses leather and wool, but no fur, down to Angora, exotic animal skin or hair. There is no evidence it traces any animal product to the first stage of production. So, considering how bad they've been in any other sector, well done for that, I guess. You know, it's the bare minimum these days, but better than nothing, am I right? But to conclude PLT's ratings, people are recommended to try and avoid the brand as they are so secretive and unwilling to release information on their production stages. If they didn't have anything to hide, then they'd release their information, right? Climate change and Pretty Little Thing. Like a lot of other fast fashion giants, PLT contribute largely to speeding up rates of climate change. As populations continue to rapidly expand, so does society's consumerism-like attitude. So big brands want the cheapest and most efficient way to create the biggest amount of goods as possible, and this is where harming the environment comes in, because most big TNCs have no regard for whether the environment's alright or not, because after all, it's not their land. Therefore, brands like Pretty Little Thing will use widespread variants of materials like polyester because it's so cheap and just easy to make because it's artificial. They have no regard with how much it damages the environment or not. It's quite sad actually how many years it's taken of climate change since the 70s when it was first announced, really. It's taken so many years of climate warning for nations to start adhering to policies, even in terms of politics. But as for the fashion industry, in the past 2 to 5 years, policies have only really just started properly appearing and being revealed to consumers because we've just started caring in like a big trend way. But yeah, it is because of the trend that's the reason why we've actually started to change and adhere to these policies and support them. So you guys can understand how much the fashion industry affects the world. Just think of this statistic. Polyester, right? Wash one garment consisting of at least 95% polyester, so one of Pretty Little Thing's dresses. Say it weighs around 300 grams. That would release over 1,350,000 microfibers into the water it was washed in. And you know where that would go? They'd go out to sea, that goes in the ocean. And then eventually, these don't disappear, they'd climb back into the food chain, they'd get into fishes, they'd get into animal, they'd affect ecosystems, and eventually it goes up the food chain to us. And it's not known yet to what microfibers do to the human body. But polyester as a whole is probably one of the most unethical materials widespreadly used today, globally. Polyester is derived from petroleum, which is a fossil fuel, making it very artificial and unethical. Some forms of polyester are biodegradable from it being plant-based, but most aren't, and never is polyester ethical. as it is all artificially constructed. It's used so widespread due to its durability when blended with cotton. Polyester fabric is highly resistant to environmental conditions, which makes it ideal for long-term use in its outdoor applications. As mentioned, dyes used on polyester are not sustainable and they are not stain resistant. These dyes are special kinds called dispersed dyes. They're not sustainable because they are made of a complex molecular structure which do not decompose easily. Dyes like this heavily contribute to water pollution and environmental problems. On top of this, these dyes have been shown in a worldwide report of incidences of cancers and lung disease of the people who work in the industry than the actual general population receiving the goods. Theories and controversies. We all know PLT has gone through many scandals, the worst and most recent being the workers' scandal in factories from BooHoo, along with the Pink Friday 99% off sale in contribution to Black Friday weekend. This really put immense damage on the environment, like 99% off. Like, who's paying for that? According to Media LSU, PLT has received criticism before 2021's Black Friday sale, with its concerning working conditions and low pay to workers at garment factories in Leicester, UK, paying workers a mere £3.50 an hour. They disclosed that this factory was new on their website. Users were quick to criticise the sale and bring light onto the concerning effects, where coats originally costing £70 were costing a mere 7p, and dresses being sold for 5p. The implications of these sales affects them who make the clothes, and it has been said that the co-founder and CEO of PLT and BooHoo, Mohammed Kamani, is ultimately getting away with running modern-day sweatshops, and is accused of forcing staff to work in these poor conditions, even when some tested positive for coronavirus and they were forced to keep on working. Many believe it exposes the company's extreme negligence and arguably slave labour. On Twitter, Jamie Windass talks about the effects on those who make clothes and racial exploitations. He stated, "PLT selling literal clothes for 5p and still being able to make a profit isn't funny. It's a reminder that the industry constantly exploits black, indigenous, people of colour through unacceptable pay and poor conditions. The low prices show a distinct disregard for the safe working conditions, meaning workers are suffering more through earning less profit, and lack of human right enforcement within workplaces." In response, PLT spokesman commented that the 99% discount was only being offered on selected lines while stock lasts, and to offer something competitive and understand people may be spending less in what is usually the festive shopping period. So basically, offering more for the people who can't afford as much on the run up till Christmas. So he declined all the comments raised on the company doing this on social media. PLT also faced further controversy when it was blasted on Twitter that in their terms and conditions there was a notice sign reading, "Warning, some products on our online store from time to time may contain certain chemicals that are known to the state of California to cause cancer and birth defects or other reproductive harm that may be included on the Proposition 65 chemical list." Do I even need to explain that? You can see online on apps like TikTok, people doing massive hauls of like Pretty Little Thing, especially after the Pink Friday sale. There was so much controversy about people ordering all these different kinds of things that they didn't even want. They were just buying it because it was 5p. And imagine the workers that are suffering from this and aren't getting paid from this. Like, it's just mad that you can buy a dress for 5p in that sale. There's something not right about that. And most of the time, people would just slag the clothes off and be like, "Oh, it looks horrible, it's ugly," and like, why would you wear that? Like, most of the clothes that come in those hauls, people end up throwing away because they're made of terrible, not durable quality, and they're also just not pretty. They're just not well designed. They're not very nice pieces of clothing. So overall, I hope this video helped you to understand the reasons why PLT should not be like a main brand to shop with. Yeah, they're a company with great customer service, they're very lovely, they're very inclusive, they're very diverse, they like to support a lot of movements including Black Lives Matter. They're very good at that and they're lovely people, don't get me wrong. But the way they treat their suppliers and the suppliers chains, the way they disclose a lot of their information, and it kind of seems like they're missing out something to their audience. They need to do a lot in steps of taking care of the environment, which they're not doing. And that's probably PLT's biggest downfall. It's a lot of arrogance. Other than that, yeah, in this video we covered the materials the brand most uses, we covered their effects on the environment, how sustainable and ethical they are, scandals and sales, and their methods of promotion, and altogether why is this bad. Thanks for watching this video, and I hope it helped you understand why in all due respect, Pretty Little Thing are not the way to go. I hope you learnt something in this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!